What were your first impressions of INSTER? Last time, we went through diverse smart functions hidden inside its compact body. This time, I'll be demonstrating from driving features to spatial merits, as well as the lifestyle that we can create with INSTER. Now then, shall we head to the second row? The rear door handle is right here. Look, there is this small emblem badge right above the door handle. Cute, isn't it? Well, this little thing is customizable, which means you can decorate it with your own taste. Wow! With this much space, we can't complain even when we are traveling a long distance. It is really a big space. Just like the front seat, find the lever below the seat cushion to move the seat back and forth. On the shoulder part of the seat back, there is a lever to adjust the seat back angle. Pull the lever up and push the seat back as much as you want. Like this. See? Easy, right? Gosh, can I just take a nap here? No, not yet, because we're going to check the tailgate and how to fold the seats. First, we can open the tailgate by pressing the button here, like this. Pressing this button on the smart key will also unlock it. Should we take a look inside? Here's the covering shelf. Make sure to push the shelf completely to fit it into the fixing slots on both sides. Lastly, connect the hook to the headrest and we are all done. Look, the luggage on the tailgate is not visible from outside and it won't ever slide into the seat space. And personally, I would put things that are light but take up some space here on the screen, like hats. Underneath the luggage board, there is a spacious cargo tray, which allows us to utilize more space. And this truly comes in handy when loading camping gears or securing more spaces for car camping. Very practical, isn't it? Now, we're going to explore a unique feature that is perfect for car camping: the full flat folding. First, fold the seat by pulling the seat back lever completely, starting from the passenger seat. We are able to fold it completely, even without pulling out the headrest. There's also a trunk board that fills in the gap between the second row and the tailgate, which makes it a good space to sit and rest without needing to use any special tool. Sitting here like this really gets me craving for a cup of coffee. Using the V2L, we can also utilize INSTER as a kitchen tool. We can connect and use an electric kettle like this, letting us enjoy a hot cup of coffee anytime, anywhere. INSTER really has a lot of attractive features, doesn't it? To use the V2L, we need to connect the electric appliances plug with the external charging inlet, which is right here, near the front bumper. Pressing the charging door with your hand will open the cover, and we can plug the V2L connector right here. Oh, and one thing that we need to be careful of before using this function. We need to check if there is any contamination or liquid around the charging inlet. Also, do not connect the V2L connector with the vehicle right away. Connect the plug of the electric appliance to the V2L connector first, then connect it to the charging inlet. Lastly, press the power switch. Then the power starts to be supplied with the indicator turned on. Now, we're all set! When you try to use the power indoors, remember to switch to utility mode first. Utility mode lets you use the power indoors using the high voltage battery. We can preset the function in the infotainment system. The indoor V2L power outlet is right beneath the console, and sliding the cover reveals the socket. Just insert the plug here, and you're ready to use V2L right away. You may be worried that using too much electricity might lead to battery discharge. In that case, make sure you set the discharge limit in advance when you use the V2L function. You can set the limit here, in the electricity usage settings. Once the battery level reaches the limit, the power supply will cut off. Keep in mind, you can only preset the limit below the current battery level. Now, those were the EV specialized functions. What are we waiting for? Let's start driving now! There are two ways to start the vehicle. If you are carrying the smart key, simply press the start button behind the steering wheel. In the case of the digital key, simply place your registered smartphone on the wireless charging pad, like this, and press the start button. Once the vehicle has started, you can remove your smartphone digital key from the pad. However, obviously, you should not use your smartphone while driving. We don't have many situations to change light settings in the city, but driving in a poor weather or a dark environment requires different lighting control. The light switch is on the left side of the steering wheel. If you look closely, it says Auto here. If you set the lighting to Auto, the vehicle will automatically turn the lights on and off according to the surrounding brightness. If you turn the switch up to the first to 10 position from Auto, the position lights and the license plate light comes on. Turning it one more time will light up the headlight as well. And to activate the high beams, which are indispensable when driving on dark roads, you simply need to push the light switch in the direction of the cluster. Then, the high beam indicator will illuminate on the cluster. To turn it off, simply pull the light switch towards you, then let it go. To flash the high beam as a signal, pull the switch towards you and release it several times. However, if you would like to use the high beam continuously, make sure you set the high beam assist mode. This will automatically switch between high beam and low beam depending on the ambient brightness when your speed is over 30 km per hour. After setting in the infotainment system, place the light switch in the auto position and push it forward. Then the high beam assist indicator will illuminate on the cluster. Oops! I was just about to explain about the wiper and washer switch next, and here it is. Pushing this wiper switch down once will activate the wiper for one cycle. If you place the switch in the auto by pulling it up once, will activate the auto wiper, which operates at regular intervals. At the same time, you can adjust the speed control knob to set the desired wiper speed. The rain sensor located on the front windshield senses the amount of rainfall and controls the auto wiper operation. And if you pull the wiper switch towards you, will spray the washer on the front windshield, like this. The rear wiper operates when you turn the end knob of the wiper switch. If you would like to spray washer fluid on the rear windshield, try pushing the wiper switch toward the cluster, like this. When refilling the washer fluid, open the hood, then look for the round blue cap. You open the cap and refill the fluid. Now, let's move on to the streets. When you drive an electric vehicle, it is so quiet, even when you switch the drive mode, that you sometimes wonder if you're driving in a correct way. Of course, you may refer to the cluster to see whether you are driving safely, or you can choose to turn on the active sound design. The active sound design helps you to be aware of the vehicle status by making a virtual engine sound according to the vehicle speed, accelerator operation, drive mode setting, etc. This will also help pedestrians around your vehicle notify that the vehicle is coming close to them. You can always change the sound settings in the infotainment system. Now, let's look at the gear shift dial. The dial is right here, and you can turn it like this. To shift the gear to D, drive, turn the dial to the second detent towards the cluster. Turning it in the opposite direction will get you in the R, reverse gear. To shift to neutral gear, turn the dial to the first attempt in any direction. For the parking gear, press the P button on the side. This looks familiar, right? Pressing this round button on the lower left side of the steering wheel will give us a total of 4 different drive modes. This is my greatest of all functions to use while driving downtown. The auto hold function. We have already seen how it works, but there's a hidden feature here. Holding down the auto hold button for more than 3 seconds will activate the brake disc cleaning feature. If the surface of the brake disc gets rust, which then causes noise while driving, use this function. After cleaning is done, the function automatically goes off, or you can turn it off beforehand by pressing the auto hold button again for more than 3 seconds or by turning the vehicle off. One more thing, there is the hill start assist control function, which our student drivers will need more than anything. Sometimes, we might be driving along steep hills and might need to stop due to traffic lights. In those cases, when you take your foot off the brake and depress the accelerator to move forward, the vehicle suddenly slides backward for a split second. Don't you feel scared? This feature holds the vehicle for about 2 seconds under these circumstances so that you can step on the accelerator pedal with no anxiety. This feature makes all the difference in driving. Now, let's try traveling a bit further. We are on the expressway now. The smart cruise control comes in handy while driving on expressways. I like to say, if you use this feature once in your lifetime, you won't be able to live without it. And it's easy to use as well. First, press this driving assist button and it will maintain the current speed and the vehicle distance. To change the set cruise speed, adjust this switch up or down. To adjust the speed by 10 kilometers per hour, push and hold the switch up or down. And pressing the switch like this will pause the smart cruise control function. Or, if you step on the brake and pause the smart cruise control function, press the switch once again to turn it back on. If you would like to turn it off completely, simply press the driving assist button again. Turning back to smart cruise control mode, let's try adjusting the vehicle distance by pressing this button. It will automatically maintain the distance with the car in front of you according to the settings from level 1 to 4. This button, with the steering wheel icon, is the lane driving assist button. Pressing this button while the vehicle is on will turn the lane following assist function on, and the vehicle will be centered in the lane automatically while driving. Pressing down on this button will activate the lane keeping assist function, which helps to prevent the vehicle from straying outside the lane. If you stray from the lane with this function activated, an alarm will sound along with a vibration on the steering wheel. Then, it will help steer the vehicle in the right direction. Pressing down on it one more time will deactivate the function. You can also use the highway driving assist function if you turn on the smart cruise control on the expressway while the lane following function is activated. It helps the vehicle drive along the middle of the lane at the set speed, maintaining a certain vehicle distance. In case you are driving over 60 kilometers per hour and there is a vehicle getting too close to you from the adjacent lane, it also helps you avoid possible accidents by moving further away in the opposite direction. Now, driving becomes so much easier and less tiring with the functions we just looked at. Even with these features, however, you may feel fatigued sometimes. Some would say, I'm stronger than this. Driving is not going to tire me out. But INSTER catches on right away because it has the driver attention warning function. It analyzes driving patterns and encourages the driver to take a rest if the driver's attention level drops below a certain standard. Like this. Now everyone, we all know that internal combustion engine vehicles stop when we step on the brake. But electric vehicles have regenerative braking system which allows you to decelerate the vehicle and to charge the high-voltage battery simultaneously by converting kinetic energy into electricity. With this system, you will be able to enhance the energy efficiency. You can use this with different levels, and the levels can be adjusted with a pedal shifter above the steering wheel. If you look closely, you will see the plus sign on the left and the minus sign on the right. You can adjust the regenerative braking levels like this or like this. The higher the level, the stronger the decelerating force. The braking level can be checked on the cluster. If adjusting the level every time is a hassle for you, try the smart regenerative braking function, which adjusts the level automatically. Pulling on the right pedal shifter while driving for more than a second will activate the function, and you will see the auto icon on the cluster. And there's another special function. Remember the moments when the vehicle is in motion by inertia without operating any pedal, such as when you're driving slowly down slopes or decelerating on flat roads. Try pulling on the left pedal shifter for more than 0.5 seconds, and this will decrease the speed. We call this one-pedal driving. One-pedal driving lets you decelerate using regenerative braking without stepping on the brake when the vehicle is moving by inertia. Isn't it cool? If you let go of the pedal shifter while using one-pedal driving at speeds over 3 km per hour, the vehicle can move again and return to the regenerative braking level that you have set previously. And vice versa, if your speed is below 3 km per hour, ending the one-pedal drive will increase the braking power and the vehicle will come to a stop. Try using the I pedal as well, and you will be able to reduce your speed or come to a stop with only operating the accelerator pedal, not using the brake. You can turn on the I pedal by pulling on the left pedal shifter when the vehicle is at regenerative braking level 3. And if you take your foot off the accelerator, the vehicle reduces its speed and then comes to a complete stop. The vehicle starts to brake right when you take your foot off the pedal. This might sound a bit complicated, but it's pretty easy if you try it for yourself. Now, last but not least, let's take a look at the parking functions. Parking can be both simple and difficult, so we are going to look at features that make parking more safe and convenient. First, let's press this button with a camera icon to check the surrounding conditions. Then, you'll be able to check your surroundings either with a surround view or a three-dimensional view. This especially comes in handy on narrow roads or parking spaces. Putting the gear in reverse will automatically activate the forward and reverse parking distance warning. The closer you get to an object, the faster the alarm will be, so parking becomes so much easier since you can visually see the monitor and audibly hear the alarm. This button in front of you will turn on and off the warning function. Busy parking spaces like supermarkets are likely to be hectic since multiple cars are trying to park all at once. In these situations, set the rear cross-traffic collision avoidance assist, which will warn you through alarms or steering wheel vibrations and automatically help you come to a stop if the rear radar senses a vehicle or a pedestrian approaching from the rear. The INSTER also has the pedal misapplication safety assist function. This function limits torque and stops the vehicle according to the distance from the obstacle in case the driver mistakenly steps on the gas pedal while the vehicle is not moving. You're able to set this feature in the infotainment system. This makes driving so easy, even for student drivers. But this is just a precaution against emergencies, so make sure you're always aware of the location of the pedal. And after you finish parking, press the P button, and you're done. Now that we are finished with parking, let's check how much battery we have left. We are at 75% right now, as you can see at the dashboard as well as the infotainment system screen. And in the EV settings page, we can also preset some EV-specific features like the battery conditioning mode, utility mode, etc. These are all useful features, so let's check them out. The battery performance drops if the battery temperature is too high or too low. Try using battery conditioning, which will help maintain the battery temperature at a condition optimal for driving and DC charging. While using the utility mode, we can see that the cluster displays the util icon and the parking brake activates automatically. In utility mode, we can use all electronic features as well as indoor V2L, but except for driving. We can also reserve a time for charging. We simply need to select the scheduled charging option during AC charging and set the charging current. We can adjust the beginning and end of charging times, as well as how to utilize the off-peak hours. In the off-peak hour settings, we can choose whether we'll charge only during off-peak hours or charge until reaching the target charge level, prioritizing the off-peak hour. In the settings for target charge level, we can check the maximum percentage charge level for each AC and DC charging, as well as the estimated distance to empty and the time to finish charging. We can also conveniently look up nearby charging stations. Go to EV, menu, EV charging stations in the infotainment system, then look up charging stations. Now, let's try charging. We have already checked how to open the charging door. Press this rectangular part right here, and the door opens. The round charging inlet inside is for the AC charging, which is commonly used at every charging stations. The DC charging connector uses both the upper and lower part. After charging is completed, press down on the unlock button on the charging connector and pull. If it still does not disconnect, try again after unlocking the vehicle door with the smart key, since it may be under charging connector lock mode. If the charging connector does not disconnect continuously due to battery discharge or electric wiring issues, open the hood and tug lightly on the emergency cable to manually release the charging connector. Okay, now we have looked over the charging process. But here is the most important part: what to be cautious of when charging. What do you think it is? Obviously, we need to charge while the vehicle is safely parked. Also, we need to make sure that we do not make any physical contact with each charging component when we connect the charging cable. And of course, as you know, our hands should be dry since high voltage electricity flows along the components. Make sure you hold onto the hand grip of the connector or plug when connecting or disconnecting the cable. I guess that is pretty much it. Now, we're going to wrap up this episode with a small tip on battery management. Even if you like everything fast, repeated DC charging may lead to a decrease in battery lifespan and performance. So use AC charging unless urgent charging is necessary. If you're going to use the portable charger at home, make sure you check the charging voltage, current, and load of your home electricity. This is because an overload in distributor capacity could lead to a shut-off or safety hazards. Also, avoid charging under weather conditions where lightning may strike. And I would also recommend that you don't charge in locations where the charging connector or plug that might have come in contact with rain. We've finally looked at all the various functions of INSTER. What did you think? There are a lot more to explain in more detail, but I shared only the most important parts because of the time limit. If there are any more features you would like to learn more about, try the owner's manual. It has a lot of useful information. Thank you for joining me today. This was Haesung Lee, leading the INSTER walkthrough.